Inhale, filling the belly, filling the lungs, letting the chest rise, holding the breath at the top of the throat. And then opening the mouth, audible exhale, let something go. Ha! Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, let the collarbone expand. This time, we're sealing our lips and letting the heat escape through both nostrils. Starting to dial into your Ujjayi pranayama, or your victorious breath. Just a fancy way of saying you're creating a slight constriction in the back of your throat, as if you're fogging up a glass or a mirror. Dialing into this breath builds heat within our bodies. Bringing your mind to your intention if it has wandered, and then starting to slowly blink the eyes open. Maybe a slight gaze towards the nose, bringing both palms onto the knees, and then starting to rock the neck back and forth, creating small semicircles. Slowly rolling the chin towards the chest, and then maybe broadening this movement here. If it feels good to your body, opening up the semicircle, creating big circles. Maybe moving clockwise and then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Starting to invite the shoulder blades into the party, really being fluid with this flow. So with a vinyasa flow, trying to create our breath and create a pattern, or moving breath by breath, movement per movement. So keep that in mind as we move. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up, gazes in between the thumbs, bringing our palms together to slightly kiss, and then taking a slight back bend here. Exhale, folding forward, sending the palms into the earth. Can you slightly tuck the chin down, pushing the earth away from you while sending your sits bones closer towards your mat? Inhale, walk the palms close to the body. And then exhale, planting the palms behind the tailbone, fingertips are facing the glutes. Inhale, pushing the earth away from you, sending your hips high to the sky, sending the gaze towards the ceiling. You should feel a stretch in the posterior part of your shoulder blade. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, slow and controlled, bringing the glutes down to the earth, hearing a little bit of cracking. Palms onto the knees, and then switching the knees here. Bringing the left foot in front of the right. Coming back into that seated position, letting the shoulder blades melt away from the ears, and then starting to roll the neck here. Creating those small semicircles if it feels good. And then maybe switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inviting the shoulder blades into the party, we start to roll back and forth. And then if it feels good, switching the directions forward. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up, gazes in between the thumbs. Take a slight back bend here, tucking the tailbone in, and then exhale, sending the palms towards the earth. Can you simultaneously push the earth away from you, sending your chin down and your sits bones to push a little bit closer towards the mat? Take one more breath here. Exhale, walking the palms close to the body, bringing the palms behind the tailbone. Your fingertips are facing the glutes, pushing into the earth, sending the chest high, sending the gaze towards the ceiling. Taking a slight back bend, take one more full inhale here, expand through the lungs. And then exhale, slow and controlled, releasing down to that seated position. Bringing the palms on the outside of the thighs, and then slowly closing your knees together like a book. Bringing the glutes in towards the heels, grabbing in front of you through that chin. Taking one cat-cow here. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the gaze, open up the heart. And then exhale, round the spine, gazes to the navel. Think of a hollow belly. Inhale, lift the chest and chin, bolster your heart towards the stars. Active listening, exhale, we slowly start to bring the knees into the chest, seeing if you can find a balance on that tailbone. Maybe grabbing underneath the thigh here, coming into a modified Navasana or boat pose. Seeing if you can squeeze those knees into the chest, lifting your chest so it's high. And then maybe you open and invite your palms to lift right here. If this is enough for you, you can always stay. If you're looking for a little bit more of a challenge, maybe you squeeze those thighs together, straighten out those legs, lift the chin high, take one big inhale here. Exhale, lowering down to low boat, slow and controlled. Inhale, lifting up, high boat. Exhale, low boat. Inhale, high boat. Invite those shakes into your practice. That means you're getting stronger. Exhale, low boat. Last one, yogis. You got this. Inhale, bring the knees towards the chest. Lift it up, bolstering your heart towards the stars. Holding here for 10, 9, 8, 7. Can you lift the chin? Can you straighten those legs? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Active listening, crossing at the ankles and meeting in a neutral tabletop at the top of your mat. In this neutral tabletop, our wrists are directly underneath our shoulder blades, knees, our hips width distance apart underneath our hips. Untucking the toes, dropping the belly low, sending the gaze high to the sky for cow pose. Exhale, can you ground down into your palms, round the spine, gazes to the navel, cat pose. Inhale, drop the belly low, open up the chest as if there's a string pulling your tailbone towards the sky. And then exhale, ground down into the palms, round the spine, gazes to the navel. Inhale, coming back to neutral tabletop. I invite you to shut the eyes down and take any free movement your body is craving. Remembering that this is your practice and your time for yourself. So shutting the eyes down, bringing your drishti or gaze inwards, not worrying about any judgment on or off your mat. Maybe you move the wrists, bringing the fingertips to face towards you if it feels good. And then one more breath exploring in this tabletop pose. When you're ready, coming back to neutral tabletop here, paying attention to those architectural lines, wrists directly underneath the shoulder blades, knees underneath the hips. We're tucking the toes, rising 2 inches off the earth, finding that lifted tabletop. Being super strong in this lifted tabletop. I want you to feel the line of energy through palm to shoulder blade. Can you press against the earth, sending the gaze in between the palms, finding a slight protraction in your shoulders? Taking one full inhale here, filling the belly, filling the lungs. Taking a look at those knees, making sure they still are in fact 2.5 inches off the earth. If this is enough for you, you can always stay. If you're with me, I'm running through a few cat-cows with lifted knees. Dropping the belly low, sending the gaze high to the sky, opening up the chest. Exhale, slow and controlled, rounding in the spine, gazes to the navel, still keeping the knees 2.5 inches. One more, drop the belly low, open up the chest. You're more than welcome to drop the knees if you like. And then exhale, ground down into the palms, round the spine, gazes to the navel. Coming back to neutral, we're here for 5, 4, 3, you got this, yogis. 2, 1, sending the hips high to the sky, letting that breath go. Finding your Ardha Mukha Svanasana or downward facing dog of this evening. Creating that inverted V shape here. Feet are hips width distance apart. Palms are a little bit wider than shoulder width distance. We're sending our gaze in between the ankles to elongate the neck. And then sending the heart towards the top of the thigh bone. Maybe you generously bend in both knees to find that fluidity to walk your dog out. Maybe you take one inhale here. Exhale, gazes in between the palms. We walk, jump, step, hop, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, creating a number 7 with our spine. Tuck the shoulder blades into the back wall and slightly tuck the chin in towards the chest. Your back is so flat here that you could eat a beautiful plate of spaghetti. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, release the chest down, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up, reaching with intention, turning that back body on. Gaze is in between the thumbs. Maybe you take a slight back bend here. Exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips, coming all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the palms, high plank. Option to stay in this high plank or option to drop down to the knees for a 3-point chaturanga. Wherever you are, tuck the elbows in towards the ribs. We're lowering down to low plank for just a moment. Taking one breath here, inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, push the earth away from you, high plank. Exhale, tuck the elbows into the ribs, lower down, low plank. Inhale, you're stronger than you think, push the earth away from you, high plank. Last one, yogis, tuck the elbows in towards the ribs and lower all the way down onto your bellies. Untucking those toes here, finding Bhujangasana or low cobra pose. In this low cobra pose, the shoelace portion of our feet are grounded into the earth, planting the palms underneath the shoulder blades, sending the chin down towards the chest. Taking one big inhale here. Maybe you test your strength and start to lift the palms off the earth, sending the elbows to magnetize towards one another. Wherever you are in your low cobra pose, take one big inhale, lifting a little bit higher and then planting the palms, rolling over the toes, finding downward facing dog. Coming back to that breath in this downward facing dog. Inhale, lift both heels high to the sky. Exhale, sink them deep into the earth. Inhale, both heels lift high to the sky. Exhale, sink them deep into the earth. Gaze is in between the palms. We walk, step, jump, hop, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up, starting to move with a little bit of fluidity here. Palms come to kiss, and then exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest hinging at the hips, coming all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, you flow, you grow. High to low plank, chaturanga check-in, tuck those elbows into the ribs as you lower down. Arcing the chest through this time for upward facing dog. Active listening in this upward facing dog, we're pushing the earth away from us with our palms. Slightly tucking the chin in towards the chest. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, rolling over the toes, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Taking one breath in this down dog. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, release. One more sun A to really get this party started. Gazes in between the palms. We look, step, jump, hop, or float to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, reach all the way up. Active listening, we're grabbing for the left wrist. And then moving over towards the right side, grounding down into the left heel. Can you spiral your chest towards the ceiling? Take one full breath here. And then exhale, sinking a little bit deeper through the spine. Inhale through center. Exhale, grabbing the right wrist, moving over towards the left. Can you spiral your chest towards the ceiling, grounding down into both heels? Take one full inhale here. Exhale, can you sink a little bit deeper? Inhale through center. Exhale, swan dive, leading with the chest, hinging at the hips, coming all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, high to low flick. You flow, you grow. Tuck the elbows into the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, first bringing both feet together to touch at the back of your mat. And then inhale, right leg comes high to the sky. Option to point your toe here, option to find an inner rotation of this right thigh, sending the right toes towards the earth to square off the hip. Bending at the knee and then starting to create big circles here. Moving in a clockwise motion, getting juicy in the synovial fluid of this right hip. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, shoulders over wrists. Maybe you give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow, make a connection, hold. Three-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, cross-body hold. Inhale, three-legged dog. Right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the right foot in between the palms. Keeping this left palm grounded, opening up for that easy twist. Gazes to the right fingertips here. Option to drop that bottom knee if you'd like. Wherever you are, take one full breath here. And then exhale, goal posting the arms, finding a mini heart opening. And then exhale, releasing back through center. Slow and controlled, rising up, grounding down into this right foot, finding a twisted lunge. Taking your time to create this balance on your mat, can you open up your wings a little bit wider? Take one full breath here. Exhale, right palm comes behind you, left palm slowly paints a rainbow towards the ceiling. And then bringing the left palm down towards the earth, finding that easy twist. Slow and controlled, bringing all the weight onto this left side, finding Vashisthasana side plank. Option to drop this bottom knee down, or option to up level here by lifting that top leg high to the sky. Wherever you are in this Vashisthasana, can you take one big inhale here? Pushing the earth away from you with this left palm, holding here, you got this, yogis. And then slow and controlled, right palm comes down towards the earth. Maybe that right foot stays lifted for a one-legged chaturanga. Tucking the elbows in towards the ribs, upward facing dog, arc the chest through. Big toes come together to touch, sending the chest towards the earth, finding child's pose. Taking a moment here to settle into this child's pose. Bringing your awareness back to this intention. Just like a wave, can you soften into these poses instead of fighting against them? Can you move with fluidity in your breath? Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Moving into downward facing dog, finding that inverted V shape here. Bringing both feet together to touch at the back of your mat. Left foot lifts high to the sky, three-legged dog. Option to point your toe or option to find that inner rotation, sending the left toes towards the earth to square off the hip. Bending in this left knee and starting to create those big circles here. Getting juicy in this left hip, first moving clockwise. And if it feels good, inviting that big knee motion counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg lifts high to the sky. Exhale, left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, shoulders over wrists. Maybe you give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, make a connection, hold. Three-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow, crossbody, hold. Inhale, three-legged dog. Left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the left foot in between the palms. Option to lower that back knee if you'd like, dropping the right palm, lifting the left palm for an easy twist, gazes to the left fingers. In this easy twist, can you take a full expansive breath through this left lung? And then exhale, goalposting in the arms, finding an opening in the chest. And then coming back to neutral. Slow and controlled, grounding down into this left foot, rising up, finding that twisted lunge. Taking your time to create that balance on your back. Maybe you open up your wings a little bit wider. Taking one full breath here, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, left palm comes behind you, right palm paints a rainbow towards the ceiling. And then slow and controlled, right palm comes down towards the earth, finding that easy twist once again. Taking your time, bringing all the weight onto the right side, finding Vashisthasana side plank. Option to drop this bottom knee to modify. Or option to up level, maybe you lift that top leg high to the sky. Wherever you are, can you push the earth away from you with this right palm? Take one full inhale here. Exhale, release. One more breath, yogis. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Slowly start to bring the left palm down towards the earth. Maybe that left foot stays lifted for a one-legged chaturanga. As you lower down, upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, big toes come together to touch, sending the heels towards the glutes. Coming back to this child's pose, a moment for us to reset. They say yoga is the bridge between mind, body, and breath. Control the breath. Control the mind. Inhale, filling the belly, filling the lungs. And then exhaling, release. One more breath here. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Bringing the palms close to the body and then finding that downward facing dog. Gaze is in between the palms, slow and controlled. We tiptoe all the way towards the top of our mat. Coming into a forward fold, bringing the feet about hips width distance apart. A good measurement for that is bringing both fists in between those feet, slightly bringing the toes in towards one another, and then bending at the knee. We're rising up into Utkatasana chair pose. As if you're sitting in that imaginary chair, take a look at your alignment. If your knees surpass your toes, can you send that ass back? Slightly tuck the tailbone in, finding the natural curvature of the spine. Watching out for your plant babies here. Finding the natural curvature of your spine. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, bringing the palms into heart center. And then twisting the left elbow on the outside of the right thigh. Can you take a moment here to take a look at those knees? If the left knee surpasses the right, can you bring them in line with one another? Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Slowly start to bring all the weight onto the right foot. And then slow and controlled, the left foot comes all the way back. You're in a twisted lunge. Take one full inhale here. And then exhale, slow and controlled. We start to spiral our chest, moving into a Crescent Warrior at the top of our mat. In this Crescent Warrior, both feet are pivoted towards the front. We're creating a right angle with our right knee. Our back foot, our heel is right above the toe. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, sink in. Feeling that right quad talking to you. You here for one more breath. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, pivoting the back foot and then committing to the bend into this right knee, finding Warrior Two. Taking your time to set up for Warrior Two, our hips are square towards the left side. Our drishti or gaze is in between the right fingers, letting the shoulder blades melt away from the ears. Inhale, shoulders to ears, crunch it in. Exhale, melt. Inhale, shoulders to ears, crunch it in. Exhale, melt. Last one, shoulders to ears, crunch it in. I know that quad is talking to you. Take one full breath. And then exhale, straightening in from this right leg. Reaching for something you desire and then moving into Trikonasana triangle pose. In this Trikonasana triangle pose, maybe you shorten your stance a bit. Trying not to dump all the weight into this right palm. Maybe you use your shin or a block to push the earth away from you and then send the chest a little bit higher. As if your body's in two panes of glass, gazes to the left fingertips. Take one full breath here. Exhale, straightening in both legs, finding reverse Trikonasana. And then exhale, bending into the front knee, finding Warrior Two. Straightening in both legs, sending both toes to face the left side of your mat. Grabbing opposite hips and then bending slightly in both knees. Finding a slight flat back, moving into a wide-legged forward fold. In this wide-legged forward fold, if inversions are in your practice and you'd like to play, you're more than welcome. If you're with me, I'm planting the palms underneath my shoulders. Inhale, take one halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, release. Left palm reaches for the right ankle, opening up the left palm here, finding a flat back. Take one full inhale here. And then exhale, release down. Right palm reaches for the left ankle and opening up the left palm towards the side and then lifting up, lengthening through the spine for a flat back. Exhale, release. Bending two knees just to avoid hyperextension and then grabbing opposite hips. Using your core, rising all the way up through center. Pivoting both toes towards the front of the mat. Shortening your stance generously and then folding over, sending the right hip back. Finding your pyramid pose, planting both palms to frame the right foot. In this pyramid pose, grounding down into the palms, taking one halfway lift to lengthen in the spine. Exhale, can you sink down a little bit deeper, getting real juicy in this right hamstring? Sending the gaze towards the left toes, take one full inhale here. Maybe you up level by lifting the toes off the earth, finding a deeper hamstring stretch. Wherever you are in this pyramid pose, with that emptying out, can you sink a little bit deeper? Inhale, bringing all the weight onto this right foot and then sending the left heel high to the sky for a standing split. In this standing split, you have a few options. Option for a few handstand hops, or option to run through 3 Shiva squats with me. If you'd like to bring the palms to TP on the earth, or if you'd like to challenge yourself and bring the palms into heart center. Slow and controlled bending in this left knee, sending the left knee towards the right ankle. Chest high to the sky for 1. Exhale, left foot comes high to the sky for standing split. Left knee to ankle, open up the chest for 2. Left foot high to the sky. Last one, yogis. Left knee to ankle, open up the chest. Exhale, planting the palms towards the earth. Left heel comes high to the sky. And then bringing the left foot down to meet the right, grabbing opposite elbows, Ragdoll Pose. In this Ragdoll Pose, letting the head hang heavy. A slight bend in both knees, inviting the chest to kiss the thighs. Finding a decompression in the neck and spine, swaying from side to side. Softening into this pose, grounding both palms into the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, you flow, you grow. Choosing your journey through your vinyasa, tuck the elbows into the ribs as you lower down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, big toes come together to touch, child's pose. Taking this opportunity to towel off. Maybe grabbing some water here. Maybe finding some connection to your mat, bringing the third eye center, massaging it back and forth. Coming back to this breath, coming back to your intention. Inhale, walking the palms close to the body, and then finding Ardha Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, taking one breath to reset. Inhale, both heels lift high to the sky. Exhale, sink them deep into the earth. Inhale, gazes in between the palms. We slowly tiptoe all the way to the top of our mat. Finding that forward fold here, bringing our feet about hips width distance apart. Both toes slightly come in together. Maybe bringing the fists in between for a proper measurement. And then bending in the knees, coming towards the mat, and then rising up to sit in that imaginary chair, Utkatasana chair pose. Taking a look at your alignment here. If your knees surpass your toes, can you send that ass back? Slightly tuck the tailbone in, gazes in between the palms, let the shoulder blades melt down the spine. As if you're trying to rip your mat in two, with those feet, you should feel those outer glutes turn on. Palms come into heart center. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, bringing the right elbow on the outside of the left thigh, sending the gaze towards the left shoulder blade. Paying attention, if that right knee wants to come out of line, can you sync it up with the left knee? Slow and controlled, bringing all the weight onto the left side, and then bringing the right foot all the way back to find that twisted lunge. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, big transitioning, moving into Crescent Warrior here. Committing to the bend in the front knee, both toes are pivoted towards the front of the room. Creating a right angle with this left knee, and back heel is above the back toe. Wherever you are, take one big inhale here. Exhale, commit to this pose, control the breath, control the mind. You got this, yogis. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, bringing the back foot to pivot and then bending into this left knee, finding Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2. In this Warrior 2, our hips are square towards the right side. Our drishti or gaze is in between the left fingertips here. Letting the shoulder blades melt away from the ears. Inhale, shoulder blades to the ears, crunch it in. Exhale, release. Inhale, shoulder blades to ears, crunch it in. Exhale, release. Last one, shoulders to ears, crunch it in. Exhale, release. Straightening in this or left leg, maybe shortening your stance a bit. Reaching for something you desire with the left palm and then hinging at the hip, moving into Trikonasana, triangle pose. In this Trikonasana, triangle pose, try not to dump all the weight into this left palm. Maybe use a block or your shin as a tool to lift your chest a little bit higher. Tucking the tailbone in as if your body's in 2 panes of glass. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, straightening in both legs, reaching behind you, reverse triangle pose. And then exhale, bending into this left knee, finding warrior 2 just for a moment. Inhale, straightening that leg, bringing both toes to face the right side of your mat. Grabbing both hips, bending generously in both knees, and then finding a flat back, folding over for that wide-legged pyramid pose. Option to drop the palms down to your mat here. Option to play with any inversion if that's in your practice. If you're with me, I'm taking a halfway lift, planting my palms into the earth, finding a flat back, lengthening through the spine. And then exhale, releasing. Left palm reaches for the right ankle. I'm opening up the right palm, finding a flat back. And then exhale, sinking a little bit deeper. Right palm reaches for the left ankle. I'm sending my left palm high to the sky, taking a halfway lift for a flat back. And then exhale, release. Bringing both palms on the outside of the hips, slight bend in both knees, and then rising up using the core for that flat back. Pivoting both toes to face the front of the room, shortening your stance a bit. And then finding a flat back, folding over this left shin, finding that pyramid pose. In your pyramid pose, finding that length through the hamstring, finding the length through the spine to halfway lift and to maybe sink a little bit deeper. With each breath in this pyramid pose, can you sink a little bit deeper? Sending the gaze towards the right toes, sending the left hip back towards the wall. Wherever you are, take one big inhale here. Exhale, maybe you lift these left toes, finding a little bit deeper of a stretch, sending the chest down towards the shin. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting the left foot towards the earth, sending the right foot high to the sky for standing split. Can you send the right toes towards the earth, squaring off the hip and finding that inner rotation? Maybe a few handstand hops here. If you're with me, you can either plant the palms to TP on your mat or bring the palm into heart center, challenging yourself. Right knee to left ankle, open up the chest, Shiva squat. Exhale, standing split. Right knee to left ankle, open up the chest for 2. Standing split. Last one, yogis, you got this. Knee to ankle, open up the chest. Exhale, planting the palms towards the earth, sending the right heel high. And then releasing the right foot towards the left, grabbing opposite elbows, Ragdoll Pose. In this Ragdoll Pose, active listening, letting the head hang heavy. A slight bend in both knees, finding that decompression in your neck and spine. A slight inner rotation of the toes, and the heels are about hips width distance apart. Active listening, we're grabbing onto our elbows here, bending at the knee, and then transitioning into Utkatasana chair pose with the bind. Just like life, yogis, when things get tough, we stay up. Can you ground down into your feet as if you're trying to rip your mat in 2? Tuck your tailbone in, finding the natural curvature of your spine. Take one big inhale here. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, sink deep. Last one, yogis. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, planting both palms onto the earth. We're moving into a crow pose here. So if you're with me, crow pose, we're bringing our index fingers to create the number 11 on the top of our mat. A slight outer rotation, the creases in our elbows should be facing the front. Coming all the way onto those toes and then slowly walking or tiptoeing those feet closer to the palms as if we did in that forward fold earlier. Bending into the arms, creating a shelf with your tricep and your forearm. Bringing the knees in towards the armpits, maybe 1 foot lifts off the earth today. Sending your gaze in front of the top of your mat, maybe 2 feet lift off the earth today. Bringing the navel in towards the spine, maybe no feet lift off the earth today. And that's totally okay. Wherever you are in your journey through crow, jump back, step back, or hop back. Skipping your vinyasa, maybe, or choosing to run full through, tucking the elbows into the ribs, lowering down. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, big toes come together to touch. Child's pose. In this child's pose, coming back to this breath, taking an opportunity to towel off, maybe grabbing some water here. And then taking this opportunity to come back to that breath. Melting into this child's pose. Control the breath, control the mind. Can we surrender and soften into this wave? Inhale, walking the palms close to the body, and then finding that inverted V-shaped downward facing dog. Bringing both feet together to touch at the back of the mat. Here we go, yogis. Right foot lifts high to the sky. Scorpion tail and right heel towards left glute. If that right armpit wants to shoot up towards the ceiling, can you take this opportunity to square it off towards your mat? Slow and controlled, if you're ready, grounding down into this left palm. And then maybe finding that flip dog, reaching for something you desire with the right palm. Maybe giving a little wave here, maybe moving into full wheel if that's in your practice. And then slow and controlled, right palm comes down towards the earth. Right foot lifts, 3-legged dog. Right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, give that knee a kiss. 3-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow, active listening. We're sliding that knee down towards the wrist. And then inhaling, shooting it back up, 3-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, crossbody hold. We're sliding that right foot down towards the earth and then opening up for wild thing or fallen triangle. In this wild thing, can you push the right palm into the earth and send the chest a little bit higher? Exhale, left palm comes down towards your mat. Active listening, 0 to 5 crossbody push-ups. If you're here for that physical practice, maybe you tuck those elbows into the ribs. Maybe you take one of these push-ups, maybe you take none. And that's totally okay. Meeting us back in the 3-legged dog, right knee high to the sky. Right knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in, active listening. We're planting the right foot in between the palms. And then rising up, finding your Crescent Warrior here. In this Crescent Warrior, we're creating a right angle with the right knee. Our back heel is stacked above the back toe. Take one full inhale in this Crescent Warrior. Fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, palms come into heart center. Active listening, we're grounding down into this right foot. Launching off, finding our balancing pose or Warrior 3. In this Warrior 3, can you keep a slight up dog quality in your chest? Can you ground down into this right foot, taking a slight bend into the right knee, and then bring the left thigh to inner rotate towards the earth? Keeping the up dog quality in your chest, take one more breath. And then exhale, slow and controlled, landing the back foot down and committing to the bend in this right knee for Warrior 2. Inhale, reach for something you desire. Exhale, peaceful warrior, sending the right palm behind you. Inhale, straightening in both legs, reaching for something you desire and finding that Trikonasana triangle pose. Just for a moment, keeping the hips lifted, finding that inner rotation here. Take one full breath. Exhale, reverse triangle pose, reach behind you. And then cartwheeling the palms to frame this right foot. Active listening, we're coming down into our lizard lunge. So bringing both palms on the inside of the right foot and then slowly moving the right heel towards the right side of your mat. If this is enough for you, you can always stay. Trying not to let the knee surpass the toe. Maybe you challenge yourself here and come down to those forearms. Maybe you drop this right or left knee and reach behind you for that lazy lizard. Whichever feels good in your lizard pose, take this moment to come back to that breath. To breathe wherever you've decided to move in this lizard lunge. Finding the comfortability and the uncomfortability of this pose. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, if you're in that lazy lizard without slingshotting the foot back, bringing both palms on the inside of the right foot. And then sending the right foot all the way back, you're finding yourself in your high plank. Tucking the elbows in towards the ribs, lowering down, low plank. Upward facing dog, pull the chest through. Exhale, big knees come into the chest just for a moment. And finding ourselves in this modified hero's pose. So taking this moment to come back to that breath. Taking this moment to have for gratitude here. Our capable beating hearts. Taking a moment just to breathe. We have one more side before we start to slow the heart rate down. Can you fully commit to being here? Inhale, coming back into that downward facing dog. Taking a breath to reset. Inhale, both heels come high to the sky, three-legged dog, And then exhale, melting the heels down towards the earth. Then bringing both toes together to touch at the back of your mat. And then left heel raises for that three-legged dog. Scorpion tailing left heel towards right glute, opening up here. If the left armpit shoots up towards the ceiling, can you square it off towards your mat? Slow and controlled, grounding down into this right palm, finding that flip dog, and then reaching for something you desire with the left palm. Maybe giving a little wave here, and then left palm comes down towards the earth. Left foot lifts high to the sky. Left knee to nose, round the spine, crunch it in. Maybe you give that knee a kiss. Three-legged dog. Left knee to right elbow, make a connection, hold, sliding that left knee towards the wrist, and then inhale, shooting it back up, three-legged dog. Left knee towards right elbow, crossbody hold, we're sliding the left foot down towards the earth, and then rising up, finding that wild thing or fallen triangle. Can you push the left palm into the earth and send your chest a little bit higher towards the sky? Right palm comes down towards the earth. Your last chance for those chaturanga push-ups. Can you tuck those elbows into the ribs and lower down? Maybe taking one push-up today. Maybe saying, hell no, Natasha. I'm totally skipping it. And then meeting me in a three-legged dog, left leg high to the sky. Left knee towards the nose, round the spine, crunch it in, plant the foot in between the palms. We're rising up into our active resting pose, finding that Crescent Warrior. I know it sounds crazy, but in this active resting pose, we're sending the back heel above the toes, controlling the breath, controlling the mind, finding the breath in this active pose. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, bringing the palms into heart center. And then launching off this left foot, finding your warrior three pose. In this warrior three, can you have a slight bend in this left knee for a stronger foundation? Keeping an up dog quality in your chest, sending the right toes towards the earth to find that inner rotation. Inhale, wherever you are, lift the chest a little bit higher. And then exhale, landing into that warrior two, cartwheeling the arms, and then committing to the bend in this left knee. Inhale, reaching for something you desire. Exhale, peaceful warrior, sending the left palm behind you. And then exhale, straightening into both legs, transitioning into Trikonasana triangle pose. Hinging at the hips, reaching forward with this left palm. And then finding your gaze to your right fingertips. In this Trikonasana, take one big inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale, straightening in both legs, reaching behind you, reverse triangle. And then exhale, cartwheeling the palms to frame this left foot. Active listening, slow and controlled, bringing all the weight into the left foot. We're rising up, finding standing split. In the standing split, option to take those Shiva squats if you'd like. Option to take those handstand hops if those are in your practice. If you're with me, I'm bringing that right foot all the way down and then moving into a lizard lunge. So I'm moving the left foot all the way to the left side of the mat and then planting my palms on the inside of the left foot. Maybe you stay here in this lizard lunge and find a few breaths. Maybe you challenge yourself and come down to the forearms as if there's an imaginary string through the center line of your body, lifting yourself into one line. Maybe you drop this right knee and reach behind you with the left palm, finding a lazy lizard. Wherever you are in this lizard lunge, can you commit to this breath? Can you let go of something that no longer serves you, finding the comfortability in the uncomfortability of this left hip? We hold a lot of emotion in our hips. What can you let go here? One more full inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs, releasing the right foot if you're in that lazy lizard. Planting the palms on the inside of the left foot and then lifting all the way up. Left foot sweeps all the way back. You're finding yourself in your high plank. Tucking the elbows in towards the ribs and lowering all the way down onto our belly. Untucking the toes, taking a belly shavasana here. Bringing the third eye towards your mat. And just letting that breath go. Starting to slow the heart rate down. We're coming in for a couple back bends on our belly. So first bringing the palms and shoulders or elbows underneath the shoulder, and then finding your Sphinx Pose. So in this Sphinx Pose, our palms are out flat in front of us, sending the elbows to magnetize towards the ribs, pushing down onto the shoelace portion of our feet, and then sending the chin down towards the chest. Take one big inhale here. You should feel the back body turn on as you send the elbows a little bit closer towards the ribs. Exhale, release down. Bringing the palms behind you to create a little clasp. And then inhale, active listening, pushing the shoelace portion of your feet into the earth. Sending the fist towards the back of your mat and then tucking the chin down towards the throat box. Take one more big inhale here. Exhale, can you lift a little bit higher? And then exhale, release. Coming into full Locust pose here. Bringing the palms behind you. The tops of the feet are pushing into the earth. Inhale, pushing the earth away from you with the tops of the feet, slightly tucking the chin in. Lifting through the sternum and the chest. Maybe those feet start to lift off the earth. Wherever you are, take one big inhale here. Sending the fist towards the feet, take one more breath. And then plant the palms underneath you, rolling over the knees, finding your child's pose. Slow and controlled, walking the palms back up to the body, and then finding a seat at the top of your mat. In this seat, coming full circle, bringing the heels in towards the glutes, reaching for those shins, maybe giving yourself a squeeze. Starting to slow the heart rate down, paying attention to the quality of your breath. Grabbing the outside of the shin, taking 1 or 2 cat-cows here to reset in the spine. Inhale, lift the chest and chin, gazes towards the stars. And then exhale, round the spine, gazes to the navel. Inhale, lift the chest and chin, open up. Exhale, release, hollow belly, gazes in between the navel. Inhale, coming back to neutral, bringing an imaginary beach ball out in front of us. And then slow and controlled, using our last little bit of core, can you send the shoulders to meet the earth? Taking your time, remembering to breathe, remembering to smile here, yogis. Finding that little sticky spot that you just want to give up and let go, but can you soften into this wave? Can you slowly melt down using the core? And then when you're ready, bringing both knees into the chest, giving yourself a squeeze. And then taking any final movements here that you might be craving that I did not call for. Maybe that's an inversion of your choice, legs up the wall, letting all the blood flow from the feet down towards the hips. Maybe you take a happy baby, grabbing the outside of the feet, rolling the spine back and forth. Whatever makes your baby happy. And then when you're ready, releasing any blocks, any water bottles out of the way, finding our final resting pose. This is what we worked for. This moment of bliss. Can you let go here? Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, Shavasana. Taking a full body scan, relaxing in the crown of your head, relaxing in the space in between the brows, uncrinkling the nose, bringing the tops of the teeth and the tongue to slightly graze around them, and then releasing the jaw, softening in the throat, in the chest, in the shoulders, and in the arms. Can you relax through your palms, through your belly, softening in your hips, your pelvic floor, the tops of your thighs, unbuckling the kneecaps, softening into the shins, releasing the toes. It's okay not to have the answer. One of the bravest things you can do is to boldly embrace the unknown. Accept your fear, but still keep moving forward. Even the smallest steps are still a step forward. Starting to bring awareness back to the body, we wiggle our fingers. Inviting life back into our toes, we give those a little wiggle. As if you're waking up for the very first time this morning, reaching behind you for that good morning stretch. And then exhale, bringing both knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a squeeze, thanking yourself for showing up on your mats tonight, for self-love and self-care. Choosing either the right side or the left side to fall onto a fetal position using your bicep as a pillow. I love what this pose represents. A fresh start, a clean slate. Knowing that every single time we step off our mats and into the world is an opportunity for us to begin again. Planting both palms into the earth, rising up to a seated position, facing any which way you desire. Bringing the palms to gather all this beautiful energy we've created as a community. And then down to heart center for gratitude. Thank you for embracing the unknown with me tonight. Thank you for letting me guide you through your practice. The perfectly imperfect student in me bows, honors, and respects the teachers in all of you. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through your practice tonight. Namaste. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to be leading us through a 10-minute meditation after this class, right at 7. I'm going to hop off and hop back on Instagram. So if you'd like to join in for that, just talking about those anxieties of the unknown again. And just a tool for us that we could use every day, just a few minutes for us to ground down. If you'd like to donate, the links are in my bio. I have a PayPal and a Venmo. If you have any questions about anything we learned today, please don't hesitate to ask. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys in just a minute on IG Live. Happy Hump Day, everyone.